weather and the sun's role in causing changes in weather. Learning about the formation of rain. The best thing about rainy season is the rain and the raincoats, and of course, playing in the puddles. Our journey home is real nice in the rainy weather. Ever wondered where the rain comes from? How do clouds actually carry water and then drop them as raindrops? Let's learn a bit about this wonderful thing called rain and how the sun actually plays a role in forming rain. We have been learning about how the sun is so important to so many aspects of life. The sun also helps in forming rain clouds and rain. We already learned that the sun heats the surface of the earth. What happens when the sun heats the surface of the earth is that hot air rises up into the sky. What also happens is that the heat evaporates water and makes water vapor. This water vapor gets carried away with the hot air. Now that the air has risen, we know that it begins to cool high up in the sky. The water vapor too cools down and then condenses. The water vapors form droplets which develop into clouds. As it becomes even more cooler, the water droplets in the cloud condense into raindrops and fall as rain. Rain clouds are called cumulonimbus clouds. This continuous process of evaporation and condensation by which water is stored in nature is called the water cycle. Let's look at the water cycle again. We just learned about the water cycle. There are two important words that we saw in the water cycle. They were evaporation and condensation. So, what is evaporation? Evaporation is the change of water into water vapor. There are several things that causes the water to evaporate quickly. Let's learn the secret of how to evaporate water quickly. Water evaporates faster when it is windy. Let's see how that happens. Sunny dropped some water on the floor. If we were to wait for it to evaporate, it might take some time. But Sunny is smart, right? He goes and puts on the fan. What happened when the wind from the fan helped the water evaporate? What we learned is water evaporates faster when it is windy. Water evaporates faster in high temperatures. If we put this saucer of water in the sun, it will evaporate fast. While if it were indoors or in a cool place, it would take more time to evaporate. So, water evaporates faster when the temperature is high. Now, how do you think Aarti should hang the towel? Should she fold it and hang it, or should she open it up and hang it? When we folded the towel, it makes the area smaller, while when the towel is open, the area is larger. The more the area, the quicker the towel will dry. So, water evaporates faster when the exposed surface is large. It becomes hard to dry clothes in the rainy season, right? That is because the air has a lot of moisture. If the air is dry, water evaporates faster. We learned about the process of evaporation. Now let's look at what happens during condensation. Conversion of water vapor into water is called condensation. Do you want to try condensation yourself? Mummy to help you though. If we boil some water, you notice some steam coming out after some time. If you put a lid on the top of the kettle and then remove it, you will notice some water droplets have formed there. This is because condensation took place and steam became water again. Water condenses in different ways. When water vapor condenses on cold objects, water droplets form, which is called dew. We find dew on the blades of grass on winter mornings. When objects are extremely cold, the water on the ground or the water vapor in the air freezes. This is called frost. Frost happens when the temperature falls below 0 degrees centigrade. When water vapor condenses on dust particles in the air, it forms clouds or fog. Fog is actually a cloud very close to the ground. So, fog is water which has condensed on particles of dust and smoke. When water vapor freezes in the air, it forms crystals of ice called snow. If the cold is very intense, then before raindrops are formed, the vapor gets frozen and snowfall takes place. We learned in the water cycle that after condensation, it begins to rain. This falling of the rain is called precipitation. Precipitation of water vapor occurs in different ways. Let's look at a few. Rain is formed when drops of water in the clouds grow too large to stay up in the air. If the falling rain freezes before it reaches the ground, it is called sleet. If the raindrops are already formed and then they freeze, it is called hail. There are many instruments that are used for weather forecasting. The anemometer measures wind. The weather vane shows the direction of the wind. The thermometer measures the temperature of the air. We have a thermometer that measures our body temperature when we have fever. Barometer is an instrument for measuring atmospheric pressure. A rain gauge is a device for collecting and measuring the amount of rainfall. Summary. We've learned how rain is formed and about the water cycle. Enough of learning. Let's jump the puddles.